I've decided to just record all these mad trips I go on, because that's been my life for the past 2 years, and I am going to an ISTA training tomorrow. And ISTA is like the Institute of Temple Arts and Shamanism or something like that. I don't know what it fucking is. But the training is essentially like 5 days of kind of working with things like boundaries and consent and self-love and like manifestation and shamanic tools and things like that. Conscious communication. I don't know how different it will be from the tantra classes and courses that I've done in the past. Even though I'm a bit terrified. I wasn't this terrified going to the tantra courses that I did, but this feels a bit of a level up in terms of the sexual aspect of it. So I don't know what to expect, and I think that's the fun of this stuff, is that I'm just throwing myself into these strange and wonderful experiences. I have so much resistance to sharing this stuff and doing this really publicly. Egypt was another example, which was just mental. It's taken me 4 months to choose to publish that and to make a documentary about it and release it, because it was a very, very intense experience, particularly the end of it. But there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in this world that is fucking crazy, and nobody's paying attention to it. Nobody's doing the work. I mean, there's certainly a few people doing the work, but it's hard to like ISTA's a fucking household name. It's hardly like Tantra's a household concept. So these things are things that yeah, fuck it, gonna share it. See what happens. But this is the night before, so at least I got a head start on this one instead of deciding 4 days later to do it and then the thing's over. How am I feeling? I'm feeling a bit nervous, excited. I feel like I'm probably going to push some boundaries of myself and explore the edges of those boundaries. I went on a date last night and it went as perfectly as any fucking date I've ever been on went. She was, oh my god, beautiful, and we had a 10-hour date of like amazing chat and blah blah blah, and really it was awesome. It was a big thing to for me to ever sleep with somebody on a first date. I did that in my 20s, and it's not something I ever want to really do, and I don't drink either, and I'd had like 5 pints yesterday. Andy, you don't drink, you had 5 pints. Look, I stopped drinking 10 years ago, and I've had maybe 3 or 4 days of drinking in my life since then. I'm not attached to the idea that like drinking's a hard thing to give up, and like I will gladly never have another drink for another fucking 10 years if need be. It's just not a big deal to me. So, but I'm a blackout drunk after about 2 or 3 drinks. I kind of like don't really remember stuff, and I get patchy ability to create memories past a certain point after a few drinks, and I don't really like the idea of like creating a new sexual encounter in that state. For me, it's just a rule. So, but I didn't really go into this with her, and she was like, oh, "Okay, good night. I'll see you later, and I'll walk home. And I really like enjoy. I'll put my headphones in. And like she was kind of giving me the opportunity to invite her up, but I didn't because of the reasons I've just said. And I could have been more transparent with her, but she kept like being like, okay, see you tomorrow, because we'd made an idea for a date tomorrow and blah blah blah. Sex is wonderful, but it's nice to have a connection as well, and it's also nice to just sit with the connection before you go into that. So this is why I think it will push boundaries for me with this stuff, because that date was a great example of somebody who, beautiful, amazing, intelligent, oh my god, we had amazing conversations. As Alan Watts gave us really good analogy of like everybody presents themselves like a really nice piece of embroidery. But it's important before you invite that person into your life, and before you like, how do I want to deal with this person? You probably want to have a peek under that embroidery and see what's going on behind, because it's usually a fucking mess. But I've got an embroidery system that works for me, and how I present myself to the world, and how that's related in the inner workings of my mind and myself. I'm somebody who doesn't want to go and have one night stands, and somebody who's not very interested in tempo nights and things like that. I'm going to the home of this stuff, and I'm gonna have to really be comfortable with myself and my boundaries, and really assess those. I love you, and I will see you in the next cut. Alright, so it's the morning of ISTA, and I've got to pack up all my stuff. I've been staying in a hotel for a week. Also, ISTA have a whole bunch of stuff that they asked me to buy, so maybe I'll show you that. First of all, just like shower gel, because they're not going to have that at the place I'm going, so shower gel. I needed to buy, and I got this like lavender. I'm a big fan of lavender, and I just went to a lavender shop and went wild. So I got lavender shower gel. And also they asked us to buy massage oil, so I got some lavender massage oil, which smells very nice. And then a whole bunch of stuff, so they asked us to buy some sarongs. So I got these sarongs, nice sarongs here. So we made it. I mean, so much has happened. So much has happened between when I shut the camera off last time and I just opened it up now. In particular, I got there. I mean, it was just basically taxi drama, but it was very amusing. And maybe I can explain a bit. Maybe it explains a bit about my personality. Basically, it was just super weird vibes. They got there an hour and a half late, and they said it was traffic. And then they took us an hour away from where we were going to pick up people. And then there wasn't even enough space for all the people in the car. They like pulled up in a petrol station and said we should pay like in cash before we arrive, and like that was whatever. I don't really care. I would have paid it, but people were like, why? Why can't we just pay when we arrive? Hi Jesus with no nose. So there was just like lots of like people were like, what the fuck? We're not paying. We'll just get out and get an Uber. And then, and then they were like, no, you'll pay. And I was like, no, we'll just get an Uber. And this was getting like too much. And it was like, I felt like we needed to shit or get off the pot. I was just like, thank you. And then, and as soon as I said thank you, we all got out and then had to get an Uber. And then the Uber was relatively fine. Cool. I'm excited, nervous. Lots of stuff, lots of people going around. There's a swimming pool behind us, but I don't want to go too near people at the moment. Yeah, I mean, what a beautiful place this is, in the middle of nowhere in Hungary. There's people returning to do level 1, not just level 2. I thought most people would just go, okay, level 1 and level 2, but yeah, people were saying it was very, very good, and that excites me. Makes me feel a bit more confident in what's going on, because quite honestly I've got no fucking idea what's going on, in case that wasn't clear to you. I'm going to sit by the little pond. Look at this. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. So we're meeting at 3 PM. Everybody's going for like the opening
ceremony, I guess it is. Maybe it's a ceremony, maybe it's just a wee opening gathering. Guys, look, it's the forest, it's getting darker. Ooh. There's my eyes. The part of me that's a bit, if I lean into it, make me a bit more nervous is like a lot of the people who are in the van with me, in the taxi. Kind of very experienced play partiers and stuff like that, and for me that's, I'm not even interested in it, quite frankly. So yeah, like with people being very experienced in that way, makes me a bit like, I feel very much like a very green to it all. But I mean, I get that in itself doesn't give me any feelings, really. It doesn't evoke any feelings. My entire every day is new to me. I get to live a very nice life where every day is a different day. It's not the same. It's not in the same place. It's not doing the same thing. It's pushing the boundaries of myself, what I believe, what I accept as reality, what I embrace as reality, and ultimately what I create as reality. Because remember, you do create your own reality. 100% of your reality is self-created. Feel it before it happens. You need to believe it before it happens. You need to know it, not believe it. Belief is for fools. You need to know it before it happens. You need to know what you want your life to look like, and then when you do, things really start, and you believe it's already happened, and you say you're grateful for it's already happening, then things start to snowball in a really wonderful way. It's fucking huge. Like, I can't even get my hand around it. I'm gonna sit by that. I'm gonna sit by this tree every day. So it's good I'm allowed to video. I asked. The agreement is that I'm not allowed to talk about anybody's stuff, which is fair. Talk about anybody else, but this is not anything like the Egypt place at all. This is not another. The facilitators here are so far away from the concept of that Jerry Sargent guy. You've no idea. They're also present and lovely and funny, and it feels such a different vibe than that retreat or that tour. We just sat and did 16 rules, or 16 not rules, 16 agreements, and that's what I was worried about, that this might be an agreement that I couldn't film. But the agreements, they all seem very, very reasonable. I get a sense that there's something happening here that's very good. And that's a really nice feeling. Something very powerful and very positive is afoot, and I still don't know what to expect. I've moved from a bit of apprehension to not apprehension, but just a bit of like nervousness to just being excited at the moment about it. Rafa mentioned in the first session, like, did mention tantra and said this is not really, we don't mention that word, but you can tell that it's definitely tantra influenced, which is there's going to be exercises that are going to maybe just push your comfort zone a little bit, which is why I'm here, right? What should we call the tree? I like the name Gustavo. I think that's quite becoming. What do you think, Gustavo? Yes, hell yes. We had like a ceremony of opening it, like calling in the directions with a drum. It was really nice. And then we had dinner, and then I realised I'm fucking tired of talking to people. Hi, Amanda. Nice shamanic opening ceremony, called in the directions, beautiful Hungarian singing. And I tried the Hungarian stew, even though I don't really eat meat. And it's quite funny, we're at dinner and everybody's like, oh, how long have you been vegetarian? How long have you been vegetarian? And in my mind I'm like, I've been fucking vegetarian forever. But sometimes, you know what, you can just like appreciate life and appreciate a new experience and have that, and then go back to your program of being a vegetarian. I didn't say any of this, I just observed and didn't participate in the conversation of the vegetarians. So I'm going to have a little lie down before we move into the next one. See you later. So it's time to go to bed. We had a nice kind of session there, doing a bit of breath, like box breath and stuff like that. It was quite nice. But overall, day one, feeling good. Nothing much to report in terms of things. I think maybe sometimes I get concerned when people are constantly talking about dysregulation and things like that, because it's not a state I'm in a lot. But we'll see. Good morning. Oh my god. Bedhead, pal. Bedhead, pal. I'll do this in front of the nice stained glass window. Isn't that nice? So I did morning meditation just now. Feeling very good. It was Kundalini, like we had an optional Kundalini yoga thing. I don't want to do Kundalini yoga. I like Kundalini yoga, it's my favourite type of yoga, but I'd rather meditate, and I wanted the extra hour in my bed. Do we want to go for a walk, or should I stay here? I think it's too echoey to be here actually. So let's go for a walk. So last night was really nice. Doing the breath stuff, I really enjoyed that. I know I've already talked about it, but yeah, it was nice, like doing the breaths together and stuff like that. But yeah, I was maybe noticing a bit too, maybe a lot of like anxious and negative thoughts this morning, which is, it's not like unusual, but it was maybe a little bit more than I'm used to. And I don't know why that was. Like worrying about stuff that I've got no reason to be worried about, like super out there stuff. So that's quite strange. But it's good to call it out and notice it and just be aware of it. Gonna go up, have some breakfast. And then we've got a thing at 10 today. So it's like breakfast, and then we've got our pod conversations. So how are you feeling, checking in, compassionate listening, which I'm excited about. I know I sounded very patronising when I said that, but no, I'm excited. I really love those moments of like listening to people's journeys and stuff like that, and sharing my own journey. Going to the first session, so just thought I'd say that I had a shower, clearly changed my t-shirt, and yeah, I'm going to go do that just now. I'm feeling very nice and fresh with my lavender shower gel. I have to admit, it smells fucking lovely. Pod meeting was good. Got clear on some of my intentions, basically just to surrender to the process really. And yeah, spoke to this really nice guy who's like kind of on a similar journey to me. Really nice, basically very similar. Tattooed 3 years ago, changed his life, blah blah blah. So we did the first session. It was pretty chilled, really nice. Like it was like kind of like an ecstatic dance type thing. And yeah, like it was just like an ecstatic dance basically, where you got played some music, danced about like lunatics. And yeah, then we did like a sharing circle thing. But I did share, I was like feeling a bit, I'm going to change the energy, I'm going to be a bit playful. So I was like, I left my water bottle over there, so I got into the middle and shared, I left my water bottle over there. And then I was like, I bought this lavender shower gel and I smell awesome because I found it very funny. It got some it got this like really awkward chuckle from everybody, which I just love. It's like if I can make people awkward chuckle, like what the fuck, what's going on, more in my life, I would. I'd do it as much as possible. It's my modus operandum. It's like, who is this guy? Now we're going to go do a thing about boundaries, which I'm looking forward to. Rafa gave a really good kind of like explanation about like the difference between boundaries and walls. Like you can end up creating these walls around you that are very like, rigid, and you don't go past them, and then you end up building a castle and end up kind of stuck in your castle basically. But then you don't want to go the other way where you've got no boundaries and you just let anybody do whatever and you do whatever. But there's a meeting point in the middle where boundaries don't separate us, where they create a shared understanding and connection. So yeah, we did work on boundaries. So a lot of the work we did was very similar to some of the tantra courses that I've done, and I highly recommend everybody to explore tantra, heart-based tantra, or whatever tantra calls you. It's like work on boundaries, like checking in with yourself and knowing whether you want to invite something in, send it away, stop, like all of that kind of stuff. It was very good. Like, it was very nice to have that experience. Again, because it's stuff that I've done before, but it's also stuff that you really can't get enough of in your life, right? Like just remembering that your boundaries are important, remembering to respect other people's boundaries. And that was the good thing about the second part of what we did, was like expressing your no, right, in so many different ways. So the exercise was to say no. Like people would say, hey, do you want to go do this, or do you want to go do that, or can I do this for you, or will you do this for me? And just saying no to that, and then amping it up a little bit, right? So amping it up and adding to that, right? So when you state your no, you stand firm with your no, accepting other people's no's, right? And like just not having a big reaction to it, or like you're checking in with your reaction more importantly. How does it feel when somebody says no to you? And then also like progressing it a little bit, and I don't want to give too much away, honestly, because like I said, if I can do something with this video, it would be to get people to be more open to going to these things. So I don't want to give too much away in terms of, right, like it's just accepting that like you might want something, you might want some people to do something, but they don't need to say yes. And also just respecting that person for expressing their boundaries, like really thanking that person for letting them know. So many people find that very difficult. Then we did another exercise, which was like trying to bring in different archetypes. So we would like do the seduction. So think about all the ways that people like try and get you to do something if you say no to them, right? They try and seduce you, like or like bully you maybe, or plead with you, please do that. And it's kind of the main thing there is just staying true to your no. If you said no and you still mean no, like no amount of bullying, pleading, like seducing can or should be able to shake you from that foundation. And as Rafa said, like you can't know what your yes is until you know what your no is, right? And I think that's a really good quote for him, which I'll attribute to him. I've just been very impressed with all of the facilitators, like very impressed. I think like maybe I was a bit, I think I had a moment in there where I asked a question, right? They explained the exercise, I knew what the exercise was, I'd kind of done it before, so I knew what it was, but like you stay true to your no, right? But like my question was, and Rafa was like, no, we won't ask your question, and it's so funny, like that's just, like, I know he's trying to be a bit like that with me, because in the introductory thing when we did the alliances exercise. Like I said, I was very I had a very big problem with authority, so I think like maybe he'll just try and provoke me like that, and that's normal. When you go through these things, you see that happen. The thing is, he doesn't know it's not going to work, but it's funny to observe anyway. I don't care. But yeah, my question was like about, okay, we're talking about seduction and bullying and blah blah blah, but one of the things I struggle with when I say no to somebody is like when they ask me why not, right? And that bothers me a lot. It's like, no, I know fucking business. I fucking said no. Who cares? Speaking now. So the last video, obviously, we were in the session and we were told to, or we're not told to, invited to stay in noble silence and sit with the process and things like that. And I think that was a good exercise. I still wanted to engage. So I think I remembered I didn't say something in the last video I spoke, or the last segment where I was speaking, like doing the bullying or the seduction or the pleading. And one of the things that I said actually was I quite enjoyed the bully one, like not being the bully but like being bullied. And I don't know where that comes from. Like I enjoyed it because like I just laugh at fucking bullies, and like I think it's this realisation, like as a child who was bullied, poor me, I was very like I've always been very different. And that can make people quite uncomfortable, especially men, especially like people who, I have like two main people that engage with me, like men that I kind of don't want in my life, and it's like the type one is the type of person who'll try and like be like, oh, this guy's clearly lost. I'm fucking not lost, mate. I'm fucking found, pal. But like, he'll try and coach me and he'll try and like mentor me, and when I'm not asking for it or seeking it, and that annoys me. But like, I always see the good intention behind it usually. But then the bullies, like the aggressive people and things like that, it's very interesting because I just found myself like loving being like, no, like people getting more and more angry. Anyway. That was just from the earlier session that I realised I didn't share it when I was walking through the forest. The session, it was like about an hour and a half, 2 hours of doing like basically somatic exercises into deregulating or re-regulating your body using different techniques. So there was one where we'd do like a mouth covering and they'll just scream from our sacral chakra or swadhisthana, or second chakra. What did I say? Your gut? No, and it's not your gut. It's like your fucking belly button. It's from your belly button. And the second one was like pillow, like screaming into a pillow, like just letting energy out, but like letting the energy out and blocking it with matter, right? That's key actually, because it's like it's all inside you. It wants to come out into this world, but how do you bring it out into this world? So it's like if you've got an emotion that's stuck, if you've got a sad emotion, an angry emotion, even a joyful emotion, like how do you get that out into this world in certain ways that when it might not be appropriate, or when it might not be the best option to let out an angry outburst in the middle of a supermarket or something. So it's like, yeah, no, that's a bad example, but whatever. So just like, yeah, screaming into your hands, screaming into your pillow, and then there was like power stomping, which is just as it sounds. I really enjoyed that part because they played like, it was like a psytrance song. They played that. It's like, and it was really good. And then they also played Marilyn Manson, so I was actually like dancing to those two. It was really good, but nobody. I wasn't making it obvious I was dancing. I was doing the power stomping, but really I was dancing. I was dancing it. Okay, why are they playing fucking really intense psytrance and really loud heavy metal? It's because like there's a lot of people working here, so they don't want like people are screaming and shouting and stuff like that. They don't want that to escape. It's also kind of drowns out everybody else's like noise really, and it also creates a lot of energy, right? Like that's very energetic music, and me personally, I really love that stuff. So, and then we had like a kind of fetal kind of like you breathe in and you clench all your muscles, and then you like relax them all. And then you had like a tantrum one, like we just throw a tantrum basically. Like, it's all safe, it's all very, very safe, and they remind you of the agreements, like I will not hurt anybody, I will not hurt myself, I will not hurt blah blah blah. It's not designed to like hurt or any of that kind of stuff. It's designed to like give you an understanding that you are energy, and give you an understanding that you need to release that energy in some ways, otherwise it's going to come out in other ways. Banging, but it wasn't banging, it's not called that, but pillow, like kind of slamming yourself into a pillow, and it's just like moving energy through your body. And yeah, like when I was silent, when I was at the end of it, like I could feel like for the first time in a long time of practicing similar stuff, I could really feel the rush of energy around my body. Like really feel into that, what it feels like to be an energetic being, what it feels like to tune in to the blood rushing around your body, going to all your different cells, the oxygen flowing around your body. It's fascinating. It's an experience that one should have, like period. So I will come and do another video later on after we have the session, but just now I'm going to go for a little power nap, listen to my audiobook, which I'm just fucking loving. It's the second, is it the second time I've read it? No, but it's the first time I've read, it's the second time I've been exposed to the content, because I've watched a lot of his seminars, but it's a Joe Dispenza book called How to Break the Habit of Being Yourself. Incredible book. Shut my eyes. Although there was, I might do something else, but we'll see. Bugs everywhere. I decided not to go read my book and decided to go be social, which is very unlike me. I'm not a social fucking guy. We had like a little mini kirtan sing-along thing. It was really nice. It made me wish I'd picked up a guitar at some point in my life, because they chucked over the guitar. I was like, no, I cannot play guitar. But yeah, we had a nice time, and then with a couple of the girls, and it's really nice because I was really kind of snippy, super snippy, with like one of the girls that organised it. Maybe I should be less of a dick sometimes. Went and had a shower, used too much of my lavender soap shower gel, which I should probably stop talking about. And then we had a thing, we had a ceremony kind of thing. Like when you say ceremony, it's like just taking things solemnly and being conscious of being aware and being present, being a witness. And we were kind of put into groups of 3. I knew that it might be some nakedness, so I kind of got ready for that. I decided, yeah, like I didn't actually wear boxers, but then I kind of like had this moment, and then like as we were doing the introductions, where like it was just like I could feel like a little fart coming, and I was like, okay, let's try and get this one out without anybody noticing. But then I got super self-conscious because I had no boxers on, and I was like, oh shit, like it's actually might not be a fart, this might be something else. and then I got like, okay, I went to the toilet and was like, okay, it wasn't something else, that's good. We got into group, I came back from the toilet, relieved that I didn't shart, and then we got into groups 3, and then I won't obviously talk about the other 2, but my experience was very good. Like 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, when I did my first tantra course, there's no fuck. I found it very difficult to get, like, even think about getting naked in front of people. And like, I think I got down to my boxers in that one, but I was still very self-conscious of my body. And today I didn't even think twice, couldn't give a fuck. Who gives a fuck? I'm naked. Like, I go to nudist beaches when I can and whatever, I don't really care. It's like, it feels very natural to me now, and it used to not feel natural to me. Yeah, we did it. We talked as our mind to our body and our body to our mind. And like, I won't kind of go through it, but my mind was very kind to my body, and my body was very grateful to my mind. And as somebody who used to be fucking really fat and really depressed and in pain in every way, I've come a long way, and that's really good. 10 years ago I was fat and depressed, and I hated life. It was just fucking, what the fuck is this stupid life? I fucking hate it. I was in Archway in London, where I stayed for a long time. Love Archway. Archway massive, that's not a thing. I enjoy myself. Shut up. So, yeah, I was in this hairdresser's in Archway in London, and then, you know, men will know this, maybe not women, but like sometimes you're in a hairdresser's and they've got these big chairs, and then they need to like put the height in the right place, and then they pump the chair like boom, 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 like maybe pumped it down, and it fucking, there's so much jiggling, everything jiggled. And I was like, what the fuck, Andy, sort yourself out. I remember just being like fucking huge, looked in the mirror, fucking sort yourself out, pal. And from that day on, I decided to sort myself out. I stopped smoking, super easy, barely an inconvenience. I stopped drinking, super easy, barely an inconvenience. I stopped gambling, super easy, barely an inconvenience. And I thought, what the fuck? Everybody told me this is going to be really hard, and if I just believe it's going to be easy, then it's fucking easy. Is it that easy? Is it not easy? Is it really not easy to get what you want in life? That's a Lemmy quote. Once you explore Tantra, you can achieve that, like, love for yourself, and when you do, it changes your relationship to everything. You don't need other people's love. I don't crave other people's love. It was a very powerful experience, talking from the mind. Yeah, like I said, the mind was very kind to my body. It was a cathartic experience, I guess, in a way. Even though like I wasn't expressing huge emotions, it was just very nice. It was a nice one, and it was also very humbling and honouring. I'm just gonna say I love you. Good night, and I will see you tomorrow for day 3. Good morning. I'm in church again. Oof. It's a bit more fresh this morning out here than it has been the last, or yesterday, I guess. Welcome to day 3. I didn't sleep in the church, by the way. I'm just meditating because it's a nice place to meditate. I get the feeling, well, I get the knowing. It's going to ramp up a little bit into things. I mean, it's interesting, like, people, without being specific and speaking about others, it's like there is a lot of other type of energy there that's not mine. Other types of beliefs and thoughts and feelings and expressions that I don't need to access. I don't have it in me. It's not a feeling that I crave. But everybody's at different stages in the process, obviously, so it's kind of, yeah, it's just to be aware of that. Not judging it, just being aware that exactly, we're all the same, literally. Some of us just got programmed in a very tricky way, and some of us haven't escaped those programs, and let's be honest, some of us like those programs. I'm not coming like feeling like, oh, I'm a fully enlightened being, I don't need any of this work. That's absolutely not the case. I mean, sure, as far as my own journey goes, I'm very lucky to have achieved levels of experiencing other realities, experiencing plant medicine experiences for the sake of brevity that really have changed my life completely. And also being exposed to philosophy that is not highly publicised. It's not the philosophy you get at university, because the philosophy you get at university is highly controlled. I'm enjoying doing the work. I'm enjoying being a part of it. Even just doing the work and seeing how far I've come in the past 3 years. It's a really good experience. So I'm going to go do Osho No Dimension. I remember the name of it this time. Meditation. That's why I got up super fucking early. Yeah, I think I'll share my experience with the No Dimension meditation. So this is my second time doing that meditation. Last time I did it was last year, and it's an incredible meditation. One of the main reasons is it keeps you very present. Like, you have to be present in that meditation because you're aware that you're basically part of this big organism, which we all are, right? And as a consequence, like, if you're not present, right, you start going into the mind, start thinking about whatever. In my case, the video I just made, I was like, I don't know how happy I am with that one. I felt like I was a bit throwing a bit too many opinions around, and it came up a few times as I was doing the meditation, and it becomes very obvious when that happens, because when you're in the mind, you're not present, you're not participating in this life. But yeah, when you're doing the movements, it becomes very clear that when somebody fucks up, when somebody's in the mind, because then they're like, okay, like, very simple movements become harder, and the meditation kind of like brings you back to learn from that mistake. And also at the end of it, you do some kind of sort of Sufi spinning. Like, I don't know, I've never done Sufi spinning, but it's Sufi-esque, like the whirling dervishes. You look at your palm, and that's been very interesting for me, because that's what I've actually been doing for a while now, like practicing lucid dreaming. I look at my hand, and so you look at your hand and you spin, and you see the whole world going round by you, noises people are making and whatever, and it feels like a dream in some ways. Yeah, we're in this physical world and we've got a particular lens on that, but that focus, that lens can completely shift and change. And you'll notice when you lucid dream, you can't really focus on your hand, and in this wonderful physical reality we live in, we can focus on our hand. I don't have much time here before I go, because I've got to do one of my meditations. I've got to do another one. I don't have to do anything, but I enjoy to do them. So I'm going to go do that. Breakfast was nice. I got to practice somebody saying no to me in real life. Went to sit down with somebody, and went, I don't think it's a yes right now. So, alright, fine. Went to say somewhere else, but it's good to kind of like recognise it and be like, oh, that's interesting, how does it make me feel? And it didn't make me feel anything. I just kind of felt like, I hope I didn't interrupt something. I had a nice pod meeting. I felt like I could have filled 100 minutes of just like me being super enthusiastic about life, but I was only able to fill 4 because that's all we got. Oh, hello. So, let's wait till I get outside and I'm walking around before I start talking. So the session in the morning, he gave us 4 things, and it was like exploring the shadow, right? So it's like, how do we explore the shadow? So we did that, and that was fun. Didn't really, like, I've worked with shadow a lot, and seems like an interesting technique, seems like interesting stuff they're doing. Like, for example, do you like somebody, do you like hide away from them, pretend they don't exist? I do that. So that was really cool, and then I got up, and then, like, it was a really good example. It was like, you can notice the pattern and then change it, right? So I got up, and I told the group, like, I mean, I kind of have made friends with my buffalo. When we're talking about shadow here, but I've kind of made friends with my buffalo here. Like, I kind of give it little treats, keeps me safe. So it's like, how much effort do I put into changing that when when it's not something about myself that I feel the call to change? What was next? Lunch. I had a fucking awesome conversation, and I found out that 4 people here, at least 4 people, are going to Medicine Festival, and they're all fucking cool people. I'm like, yes, that's great. Fucking awesome. And they're just really cool people. And then I had a really cool conversation with 2 of them, but I think I pissed one of them off. Because like, he was like, no, free will doesn't exist. And I'm like, no, free will does exist. And like, I know what he means when he says free will doesn't exist, but I also know what I mean when I say free will does exist. But like, basically it was really cool. But like, interestingly, I was like, so one of the girls was like writing down everything I was like, saying, like, not in a journalistic way, and like this guy seems to like just espouse a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just gonna write it down. So she was asking for like people I recommend, listen to, and blah blah blah, and I recommended Osho, I recommended Bashar. We did the wheel of consent, which I'd never done before, but it's really just like putting yourself in a quadrant of like a giver, a taker, an acceptor, or like a kind of surrender person, which I can't remember the other thing. So like, each are as opposite ends of the quadrant. Like the giver would have like the receiver, maybe that's the word, and then you would have like the taker, and then the like acceptor, or whatever, something like that. And basically like put yourself in the quadrants, like understand that, and like we did some like nice exercises, like consent, like just like, can I touch you for my pleasure, can I touch you for your pleasure, and the differences and nuances in that, and like understanding where I sit on those quadrants, like what's my preference. I'm for sure a giver, like my pleasure is giving pleasure to other people, like that's like my deepest thing. And yeah, for me it was very interesting to explore those things, explore it with people, male and female, and all of that kind of stuff, and like it's very interesting. Like ultimately I did it with a guy that's going to medicine actually, and he, like, I didn't want to ask for like soft touch, but I quite like soft touch. So like, it's kind of like, if it was this is a big guy, I just manhandle me, do you know what I mean? Like just, like it's like with the arm, calm down guys. So then we went into the main activity today, which was very big, and I don't really want to talk about it, quite honestly. Like it was very personal to me, so it's very, like, as much as this stuff is, it's not just personal to me, it's personal to people that are in my life and that I care about and I love. So it's like, I don't want to bring that into this, if that's okay with you all. That's me setting my boundary. But it was certainly a very shamanic experience, very like diving into an aspect of yourself. It kind of like gave me the process of tapping into somebody else's grief. That wasn't my grief. Fucking fly. Really feeling that in my body, feeling it, and it kind of exhausted me today. But it was a big experience, and certainly something that I don't want to talk about too much. So after that, I did the silent thing. And then after that we came back and we did another exercise which was called RBDSM. It's about like what other people want, right? From this interaction that you're having with them, right? If you're interested in them, you find them sexually attractive, like how do you engage with them? Like what do you talk about? Like before you go and have an awkward fumble with them, like how do you interact with them? What's important for you to know about them, and things like that. So it kind of goes into things like, so relationship, are they in a relationship? What kind of relationship? Is it an open relationship? Is it a closed relationship? Blah, blah, blah. And then you have the B, which is obviously boundaries. Like what don't they want, right? Like most people aren't into BDSM, funnily enough. I think it's like sexual health. So like, when was the last time you got tested, right? Well, that's probably a good thing to ask before you get into bed with somebody. Can't remember what the M is. So if I had a nice time with this girl, blah blah blah, but I found out she's actually like technically considered a facilitator, and ISTA has a very complicated history with facilitators and having sexual encounters with participants. Facilitators, assistants, and then participants, and then their staff, the people in the hotel. And they're like, okay. I like the way Rafa did it. They put it up on the things, and then it was just like, no staff, right? So no sex with the staff. And under no circumstances can facilitators and participants have any sexual engagement. It bothered me because I don't see this power structure, right? And this is the thing that I want to talk to people about. I want to talk to like one of the facilitators about on camera, hopefully. Is like, I would like to just interview like all of them probably. That would be really nice. Like, I hate to admit it because I really don't agree with what they're saying at all, but I understand what they're saying. Like, it doesn't bother me, like, quite honestly. Like, I'm not running about looking for people to have sex with. It's great if it happens. It doesn't drive my life. The last one, I can't remember what it was called, the last one on the BDSM is like, yeah, what are you looking for, I think? And like, for me, like, the things that I look for at the moment in my life as somebody who travels is like, I want intelligent conversation. I can't talk, I love cats, but I can't talk to a cat, right? No, that's all I'll get from it. So like, and I can't, and this isn't an intelligent conversation, it's an intelligent monologue. Doing creative things, going on little trips and blah blah blah. Those are the things that I really love. Like, sex is wonderful, but it doesn't rule my life. The last thing was I just went for dinner with a really lovely lady, and we had a nice chat, and she's in my pod, and yeah, that was really nice. But I kind of like, I was getting to the point where I was like, I'm totally depleted. So that was today. Fucking big day, and it's still not over. We've got another thing going on just now, which is like a self-love ritual. And the way that I've interpreted it is, I'm taking myself on a date, going on a date with myself, and going to dress up sexy for it. Basically, dressing up exactly how I am. I don't give a fuck. Just turn up to my date like this. So went on the date with myself. It's basically a temple night for yourself. It's kind of like feeling into pleasure and things like that. It's quite interesting. I'm sure we're all very familiar with the pleasure in ourselves. If you were not, then turn this channel off. What the fuck? But it's a bit different than that. It's a bit like feeling into like the pleasure in your own body and giving yourself that pleasure. It's hard to surprise yourself. That's the problem. That's why it's good. That's why we need other people, right? Like, that's why we need other people in our to give us that pleasure. As much as I tried, I wasn't really feeling it. Like, it was a fun evening and like highly enjoyable in general. Just like the energy was moving, it was very interesting and stuff like that. But like, me personally, there's just something missing, obviously, when there's not another person there. And that's it. I'm going to bed. Looking forward to tomorrow. I love you. Good night. Right, morning meditation done. Good morning. Day 4. Day 4 of ISTA Level 1. Level 1. Levels. Cults have levels. I hope I've not joined another cult. I've got nothing to say at the moment except I'm hungry and I'm late for breakfast, and yesterday I got no fucking breakfast, so I'm gonna fucking fuck off and then come back and talk to you when I've got some food in my belly. I had breakfast, that was nice, and it was very nice because like in my meditation, at the end of my meditation, I imagined like a nice big, and like it's been different breakfast every day, but today in my meditation I was like imagining a big brick bowl of porridge with blueberries and cinnamon. That's exactly what was there. This shit happens to me all the time though, so whatever. All coincidences, of course. It's not like I'm doing anything to influence that at all. Anyway, we had to ask people on a wheel of consent date, so I'm gonna go do that with somebody I find very attractive. And also, like, I had a good conversation with another person. After that conversation, I'd quite like to have had that would have quite liked to have had that conversation with you. And she was like, well, like it's not like it's just these are the rules, and like there's other rules, so it's like we can still have that conversation and see where we land and stuff, and that's nice. And it's very nice not to feel particularly monogamous for once. It's nice to feel like I'm not going to upset people if I'm interested in like exploring something with one person and another person, and that's very freeing. Like I'm not looking to cause these people problems, and it feels like there's no problems by doing that because it's part of the course. My main feeling there is like a lot of the politics are dropped. A lot of the politics we're taught of how we're controlled, because politics is the art of controlling people, basically. Of how we're controlled into behaving a certain way and believing a certain thing, and believing that. I had this conversation with a date I was on a few weeks ago, actually. You can have a lovely relationship with somebody, the perfect relationship, but then like you can meet somebody and just want to explore with that person, explore what the feeling is. You're attracted to them, but then people are so willing to just take like everything and throw it out because somebody and then it becomes a pattern or whatever, and there's all these toxic behaviours around the idea of like wanting to explore with another person. Or taught, by the way, go to school, go to university, get a job, fucking die, preferably before you get to use any of your retirement money, and don't ask any fucking questions. That's our reality, and it's fucked. So yeah, I live in this, I'm kind of exploring and feeling very good about exploring and sharing something at 39 that I've never done, as somebody who's lived a monogamous relationship his whole life and been fine in a monogamous relationship. And I say fine, when I mean fine, not great, not fantastic, not brilliant, not celebrating every day, fine. And that's a life most people kind of fucking aspire to, is a fine, like, I'm not fine life, I'm like talking 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10 life, where things are kind of good, sometimes great, sometimes shit, and most of the time kind of boring. I'm looking forward to today. There's a little apple tree, is it? Yes. Quick update, because we've got a 15-minute break. I had a nice little dance there, it was fun. And then we went into like talking about what we're doing today. So we're kind of working with archetypes like Divine Mother, Divine Father. What that means, obviously, Father, like you think Father should be strong and courageous and providing and maybe give direction and blah blah blah, but usually they're shite. And Mother, the same. Like so it's kind of talking about how these roles we're hanging on to these roles, we're attached to these roles quite a lot. So yep, had a dance, talked about what we're going to do. So that was good exercise. Like, be honest, they keep saying it's not tantra, but this is all stuff I've done in tantra before. I don't think it'll stay like that, but so far it's been very, very tantra. Like the tantra stuff that I've done, there's different schools of tantra, but very much like, it's like the Divine Mother, Divine Father, Divine Child, and like knowing that your parents aren't perfect, like I was saying in the preamble. Nobody's fucking perfect, right? You expect your mum and dad to be perfect and they're not, and then it causes trauma. The exercise is like tapping into those archetypes, so you get one opportunity to do that with each, and you do it in a 3. It does make it awkward if you kind of fancy one of the participants, because then you spend your whole time like creating familial relationships with them. One of the girls was quite really kind of attractive, but whatever, like that opportunity's gone now. The exercise is getting to hear all the things your mum and dad didn't get, like say to you and wouldn't say to you and won't say to you, and tapping into those things, knowing that you can tap into these things at any time, right? Yeah, and kind of knowing that like
The relationship we created between the families is a strange one. We don't need to have that. In most places it's like, okay, brought you into the world, taught you what we know, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, and then the commune takes care of it, right? The world just takes the community takes care of the kid, and they find out what they can do best. But like the key thing I'm learning with this stuff, and tantra and whatever, I can look at it and witness what's going on and how I've changed and how these exercises are incredibly nourishing, but not necessarily as powerful or like moving as much energy as they did 3 or 4 years ago. You're not going to get many of these with no clothes, but we were exploring divine sisterhood. It was incredibly powerful, feeling into divine feminine energy, however you want to call it. We were kind of made to dress up a little bit, like we had to dress into our feminine, but I don't like dressing up, so I didn't. This is as far as I got. And I took my t-shirt off because we were dancing, and I didn't have time, and I don't have time to find one and put one on, blah blah blah, before the next session. We did this session on like what it's like to be a woman in a woman's body. It gave me some perspective that I kind of know but choose to ignore in that sense. I know this stuff, but to hear it from a group of women talking about being leered at, being and that kind of stuff, feeling safe among men, coupled with really beautiful stories of childbirth and how it feels to make love in a woman's body and things like that. But really just the whole spectrum kind of felt very powerful. You can see I'm kind of holding back tears because I'm trying to get through the video, but like if I had a moment, and I will have a moment, I'm just gonna go and cry for a second. But yeah, I guess like it kind of made me very grateful for women, for the women in my life, for the women who have been in my life, for all the women here, and for all the women in this world. As the Flight of the Conchords would say, all the lovely ladies. And just want to do something special for all the ladies in the world. It was a humbling experience, and one that I'll remember. But, fuck. It was 30 minutes. I thought it was fucking 30 minutes, not 13 minutes. If you're a lady watching, if you're a sister watching, I became an honorary sister just there. Thank you for putting up with the fucking shitty world that a bunch of fucking crazy men have decided to create and maintain, and still maintain. Everybody feels the change happening, but we're living through that change, and we're creating the change. Thank you. Really. Let's talk about men's circles for a second. Everybody's going to tell you that they're really good, or the women, or the men, so they must be really good. I hate them. They are not for me. This is not to say that I'm recommending you don't go to them, because it's like, I don't like football, so I don't watch football. This is not a football shirt, even though it looks like a football shirt. It's a novelty frightened rabbit t-shirt. So I don't go to see football, right? But men's circles are usually full of men with a lot of pent up anger, frustration about being a man. Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. You don't need to do fucking anything.
I need to sit and listen to people tell me they need to blah blah blah, I need to be a man, I need to do this is what a man needs to do. You don't need to do anything. Like, they're in this world where they think they need to be like this. So it's like, I need to listen, and I just want to wake everybody up. Like, by the way, you think all these mad stories, like, cool, just because you bought into some stories. That's like going to watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and going, everybody's always going hi ho, and I want to sing a different song. Sing a fucking different song. I'll take this for my rant. Usually my rants are about being a human on this mad planet. But today I'll accept the label. I don't accept the labels lightly. But I'll accept the label of being a man. Because the thing about it is, you go to these things where everybody's angry all the time, it just makes more anger in the world. That's all it does, it creates more anger. Fear is more fear, it's a fucking snowball. Put your energy into love. And by the way, there was none of that in this men's circle actually. This men's circle was very interesting, but I needed to step in. Somebody got, like, the first person that got in, lovely man, but like just started screaming and grumping and this aside. And I'm not one of these. You are one of these, right? You are everything and all things at the same time. You're not separate from all the bad people. You are the bad people. By giving them your energy, you give them more validity in your reality. I enjoyed it despite my rant. My rant wasn't really about that. My rant was about men's circles in general. That experience was good. Like, the facilitator, a fucking awesome guy, and ran an amazing workshop. And do you know what? Like, out of all the men's workshops in the world, I would go to his or something similar. I needed to kind of get that out of my system, because I think men's circles and women's circles are ultimately toxic, because they create the conscious separation, right? The conscious separation of, this is what it means to be a man, this is what it means to be a woman, and it doesn't mean anything to be either. You can be anything you fucking want. You don't need to continually have meetings every week to validate society's perspective on it, or even give energy to society's perspective on it, whether you agree with that or not. Other than that, I got asked to do a BDSM conversation just there, and remember the conversation we were talking about earlier, the RBDSM, asking all the different questions. Yeah, made me realise, like, yeah, I mean, I said yes. I need to figure that out. Because she's a very pretty lady, very, like, really cool, really nice. But I don't know, kind of like, there's a few people here that I'm drawn to more than her. Should I have said yes if it wasn't 100% yes? Well, like, I'm open to having the conversation. The conversation's a yes, but like, doesn't need to go anywhere. So yes, it was a full yes. But it wasn't a hell yes. It was a yes. Gave the young lady a massage today. I think I got 4 stars out of 5. Would have liked 5 stars. Could have just lied. But I'm glad she was truthful in the end. Whew. I love you. Good morning. I don't have much time before the pod meeting, but I wanted to just like give a few, like literally a sentence or two about temple. So temple was last night, my very first temple, and I'll go into what temple is a little bit later. And I wanted to share this last night, but camera wasn't working, blah blah blah, and who cares? So it was great. It was a great experience. This is my first one. I think there'll be another couple. So for me, that's just something to like. It's an intense experience in that sense. So another 2 is slightly intimidating. But I'm here for this process, and yeah, my very first temple was very, very good experience. They held the space very well. I felt very welcome and open, and yeah, I had a very nice experience like with a young lady, and yeah, I think something that just like maybe I'll just share and then maybe I'll elaborate on later is it's like we all need sex. Like there's so much like porn and all this crap out there, and there's like so much like dating apps and stuff. We all need sex. We're humans. And tantra and temple and all of these types of things kind of give the innocence back to sex, like the genuine desire to give pleasure to somebody, whoever they are, right? You might not even be attracted to them physically, but you can see them as another being and get pleasure in some way of either like their touch or giving them touch. And that's an important aspect of being human that we've lost. People keep saying today it's going to be more intense. Like, how can you get fucking more intense? Calm down. Chill out, people. Yeah, a bit nervous about just how it will be like with the person I connected with at temple. But I think, hope that the RBDSM chat we had kind of set us up for a really like a positive experience the next day, where we like explained what we want, and also like the aftercare, like how do you want to be treated. And it's like, yeah, I'd quite like to just continue connecting and hugging and all of that kind of stuff. Although, yeah, like maybe I will say I did connect with some, like, yeah, one of the people who I'd connected with, and then kind of was like, on your bike at tempo night, just kind of said, not just now. I was like, alright. Because I came up and just said, yeah, oh hey, can I join you? And that was interesting. I didn't have a visceral reaction to it. I was like, alright, bye. I'm gonna go, there's a billion other people here. And I didn't have any rejection feeling. And that kind of is, and there's a sadness to that almost. It's nice. It's nice I don't have those hang-ups, or they're not present in me just now. And I've done a lot of work to not give a fuck, right? Don't care, being naked in front of people, who cares? I've done a lot of deprogramming. And there's a part of me that's like, oh, like I got rejected and I didn't get to feel the rejection feeling. Like it's almost like, oh, like I could feel into that feeling if I wanted to, but it wasn't the first thing that was alive in me, and I would have to search for that feeling to get it. It's like, well, I definitely don't want to bring that consciously into my life, but then it's like, okay, well, the unconscious behaviour seems to be gone. The unconscious feeling of rejection is gone. So now, if I want that, I need to consciously bring it in. And that's terrifying. Because it's like, well, what's the second agreement of the 4 agreements? Don't take it personally, and I don't. Just like, well, she's got her own shit to deal with. Not my problem. Only love. Like, I'm open to whatever, but I don't need to run about giving a fuck about anybody, really, except myself. I feel like maybe I should say more about tempo. But it's really just a space where you can connect with people, and like in a really safe, comfortable, consenting environment. Is that not what we want in this world? Sex is not dirty. Sex is not shameful. It's not wrong. Who the fuck says it's wrong to want to have an experience with multiple people? Why is that wrong? People have been doing it for centuries and whatever. So go do that if that's what is your thing. It's not really my thing, right? Like, I'm here, I'm experiencing it, I'm interested, I'm curious, I'm a part of it. I bring my energy to it, I bring my presence to it, I bring my witness to it, I bring my creature to it, my body to it. But it's not like it's not my lifestyle. My lifestyle is curiosity, just being insatiably curious about everything, experiencing everything with the totality of myself. Because I get to, and you get to too. If you view the world as hateful and vengeful and angry and war-filled. That's how the world is. But if you view the world as a fucking playground, you get to live whatever fucking, you get to go explore whatever you want. Whatever you want. Okay, oh, but money, oh, I need to pay the rent. Well, if enough of us got together, we could make sure that that would not even be a problem. If enough of us got together, globally, we can make sure that rent was never a problem, that every human being had shelter. Okay, that's one of the basic needs sorted. If we got together, sack our governments off. I keep doing that. Sack our governments off. You're done. Let's make sure everybody has shelter. Let's make sure everybody has the basics. But it doesn't need to be replaced with one of the shitty systems that people are bought into. Fuck communism, fuck Leninism, fuck capitalism, fuck all this fucking, fuck democracy as we have it. We have the tools and the ability to create a democracy that is truly fair, and we all fucking know it. We've got these fucking slaves making these fucking phones. Fucking might as well use the fucking phones to create some kind of democracy, not control. Just like, look guys, what is humanity? What is it? Well, that was an interesting morning. So I share when there's a sharing circle, because that's what it's fucking called, the sharing circle. Every time there's a sharing circle, if I can, if there's something alive in me, fuck it, I'll share it, why not? Sharing this with you. And yeah, like there's a lot alive in me all the time, so why would I not share? And I was sharing this morning about my journey. It was actually a very vulnerable share, like the most vulnerable share I've shared. I was trying to wrap it up, but like yeah, I got interrupted by a guy, and he was kind of like told, don't interrupt, and then I got interrupted by the facilitator. I got interrupted by the facilitator, and that like, and that was interesting. Like, I kind of like felt quite small, and I kind of just wanted to like run and hide when that happened, because I was like, oh, it's a sharing circle. And then yeah, the guy got up and shared about how he doesn't like people sharing too much. Pointed at me, basically. I went and had a conversation with that guy. And I was like, look mate, I'm going to share. He's like, well, I'm going to like you less. I was like, I give zero fucks if you like me less. Ultimately, like I was able to, through the heart, like help him understand that this is his problem, not mine. Yeah, I was just trying to share about like how proud I am of myself for my journey, and I didn't get to really say that because I was shut off. What are the chances that this big thing that's come up for me is like not being heard, not being seen, like feeling like what I've got to say is of no value, right? Like, because that's how I grew up. I don't want to blame people, right? We're talking, not just talking family, we're talking teachers, we're talking priests, but we're talking fucking like coaches, we're talking everybody. Everybody was always telling me, shut up, be quiet, stop causing hassle, stop asking questions, stop whatever. And it made me who I am, right? But at the same time, there's still a little boy inside me that feels like this fucking stupid world has got like just got no time for me. And that's difficult. That's a difficult concept to get over and to work with. But the first step is being aware of it. and for the longest time I've not been aware of it because I've been travelling by myself. So I don't put myself in situations often where I'm having like where I'm in a situation where I'm asking questions and that kind of stuff. Apart from like courses and classes, and most of the time it's welcome. If you're doing a workshop here and there, nobody knows you're the guy that's like always asking questions because I just want to fucking figure out stuff. But I shared something really, really personal yesterday, and I was like, so what can you give me an example of what I'm sharing that you're not liking or whatever? And this guy was like, no, actually I haven't listened to a single one of what you said. And I'm like, that's not very nice. It's not very compassionate. That's not very present. The demo for the next session, well, it got spicier. Certainly moving in towards closer to the sexual shamanic stuff. For me, it seemed very intimidating. It was exhausting to watch. It was exhausting to think that that's what I'm going to be doing in a couple of hours or an hour and a half. So that's tough. That part's like, oh my god, it's a big, and it's not about any of it. It's not about being naked in front of people. It's not about like the ritual, the thing that they're doing. It's just fucking really intense stuff. Anyway, that's all I've got. I'm kind of a bit depleted today. So we're going for another walk. I've got sunglasses on, and we're going for a walk in nature because we need to find an object. So we're doing a ritual. The ritual is very intense. It's loving presence, really. Nothing that we're doing here is mandatory. It's all optional, so I could choose not to do it. But I'm here for the experience. So, like I said, it's not a tantra massage. It's close, but it goes a few extra steps, and also it's about for the receiver allowing yourself to journey. And it's not about like sexual attraction to the other person, right? So that like you don't need to be physically attracted. You don't need to be like it's not about that. So what we're going to do just now is we're going to find an object in nature that we bring in, and then whoever's got similar objects or alike objects will get paired. I'm not sure what I want. There's a little feather there. That could be a good option. I think that's it. Let's go hunting. Oh, that's quite nice over there. There's a little orange. Let's go in. It'll be fine. Let's go get this one. This is it. That's definitely me. That's all me. Oh, yeah. Golden orange. Look, I made you some content. Daddy made you your favorite, open wide. Here comes some content. It's a beautiful day to stay inside. Right, that's enough. Didn't like that exercise. Shite. They did an exercise before we started, so like we had to take the men had to take a flower and the women had to take a flower, and we matched up the flowers. And then my partner, when I opened my eyes, she was just like kind of disappointed almost, and I was like, oh, okay. It wasn't like a sexual encounter. It was very, very different than that. Even with the finger up the bum, it was very, very different than that. But it wasn't like, it didn't feel good overall. Like, I mean, I wasn't. In some ways, I felt a little bit like I was enduring it. I think it was just like the energy you put in. Like, I'm sure, like I believe, and I know she gave me like loving touch and there was certainly, I'm sure, love there. But at the same time, I think it set a tone when you can see from somebody's face they're kind of disappointed that they got you. In a lot of ways, and this is how I feel in general when I have these days, which is frankly very rare. I'm grateful for the emotion. The emotion is a very interesting one. I don't know. Like I don't feel like it's getting more intense. I didn't feel like that exercise was any more intense than tempo last night. Like, so when it starts like in a hurtful way, you're kind of like, that stings a little. And then yeah, like, it certainly was not sexual at all in any way for me. It was almost clinical. The experience. Like I said, I was able to journey. But journey's just in some form of meditation. I'm glad tomorrow's the last day. Very glad. I'm glad I'm leaving early on the Monday as well. Like, it's not like I'm desperate to get out here, but it's like, it's an intense process. Constant. I've been through more intense processes than this. And yeah, getting like weird vibes off people, that's really difficult for me. Because I'm here for the experience. I'm not here because this particular thing is my lifestyle, right? Like, doing this type of thing is absolutely my lifestyle, but like like diving deeper into these things is interesting to me, but it's also like I don't want to be part of the ISTA vibe. Well, yeah, so it's temple night's going on, and I set the intention to turn up for the games and then fuck right off, which is what I did. So the game was like we all had to be temples, like gods and goddesses, and then we had to be all like stared at in wonder. So then the first round was like people were in temple poses or like different poses and states of undress and doing dances and doing poses and stuff. You kind of went around and honoured the god and goddess, or honoured the divine really. I found it really tiresome and boring. And then my group we swapped roles and I had to be the temple. And I just sat in meditation pose. But it was really funny, like I imagined, because basically people were walking around and then they would come, and only one person would like stop by. So they'd come round and then look at your temple or whatever you're doing. I just sat in naked meditation pose with a bit of a sarong over me. And like I saw it as like a shop, and like nobody was coming to my shop, and I'm like, I was just like, and there was a guy next to me. It was like everybody was going to his shop. His shop was great. I would have gone to his shop. He was like dangling a fucking candle from his toe and his pinky. And I'm just in meditation pose, sitting like a wee guy. Nobody wants to come to his shop. And they kept ringing a bell, going, "Are you where you need to be?" And I'm like, "Fuck no, I want to be in fucking bed." And then they rang the bell again. So this is after the temple started, so we did the whole wandering around game, which is like, it's a fine game, and I don't mind being solemn at all and reverent and all that kind of stuff, because there's a time and place for that, and temple's certainly a place for that. Honestly, I'd just rather be curled up in my bed, listen to an audiobook. So that's what I'm going to do, because you have free choice in this world, and I don't feel like I want to be sexy with somebody tonight. I don't have anything emotional, like, other than just being a bit like I said, feeling unwelcome. However, I know that I could change my reality and like change my night, change the direction of this, and go have a dance, go have a play, go have a cuddle with somebody, and it'll be wonderful for them because I'm fucking brilliant, but not for me, because I just don't have the capacity for it tonight. Oh, and it's a shame, because there's a really nice woman that we really had a nice, not the girl I was talking to, but we did these sharing things, and we did lots of dancing. She's quite flirty, and like I find her quite attractive, and like, but like when we did the temple, we were like trying not to laugh at each other and stuff. It was quite nice that we did the temple. I came solemnly and did my thing, and but like it was nice to be like, and like I knew that there was a few people tonight that I would have liked to have just had a connection with, but I just don't have it in me. Anyway, I love you. I'm done. Good morning. Day 5. Final day. Thank fuckity fuck. Oh, couldn't do more of this. If it wasn't the final day, I would probably just be like, right, I'm out. Feeling good though. Feeling like I made the right decision it felt like the right decision to go back last night and not go to temple. It felt like it then, it feels like it now, so it was a good decision. Oh, had a very nice meditation there. I'm getting better. I'm not getting perfect at like moving my attention truly to the energy centre. The essence of this that I can take away, and this is what I've been doing for the past while, but it's nice to see validation of that. It's like they say radical discontinuation or something like that. This configuration, sorry, and that's just like changing your mindset And changing your patterns, changing like what you're doing, right? Like going to this is like a big change in my pattern, right? My pattern's being alone all the time, right? Getting the fuck away from people. A big pattern that I changed was getting out of Glasgow, then getting out of Edinburgh, getting out of London, changing it constantly evolving, constantly moving. You don't need to like constantly change, but just like even change your room about. I used to do that when I was a kid. These things are fucking, yeah, that's like I realise I've been doing this my whole life, and that's been very good for me in my life. It's meant that I'm constantly evolving, constantly changing, constantly growing, and that's what this is about. Coming to something like this is so far out of my comfort zone and where I want to be, really, that it changes your thought patterns. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm not thinking the same thoughts that I would think, or that I might be thinking if I was travelling. My thoughts are very different. Oh, why'd that person do that to me? Oh, why'd that person say that? Oh, I should have probably done that. Like all of these thoughts are new to me because I don't have these thoughts very often. I guess like when I come here, I look for people to learn from, and sure, the retreat facilitators are great. I've definitely learned a lot, and I am learning from people. Oh my god, I just fucking stood on a stinging nettle. That's going to be horrible. A lot of the people, the things that I'm thinking, I haven't learned from them, I actually probably have learned the most from, which is so funny, because it's like they're my mirror. Like they're the people I'm looking at going, oh really? Is that right? And then you're like, oh, actually I'm looking at myself here. Maybe these are things that I do. Maybe these are things I'm judging because I don't want to do them. So we had the sharing circle, had breakfast, had a nice conversation with somebody at breakfast, even though I kind of wanted to be alone. It's like I sat under a tree by myself and deliberately walked past everybody and went there, and somebody still came and said hi, but it was fine, it was nice, it was a nice conversation. I understood why she wanted to come and have a conversation. Like, she's a beautiful lady and we connect intellectually, like, and stuff like that. And anyway, I was just feeling a bit introverted this morning. We had a nice conversation and then had a nice dance, and like by myself, then went to sharing circle. I waited till the end and I shared some of what I was talking about yesterday, just feeling a bit unwelcome. What was going on? Had a wee cry for me. Then did the thing that kind of is like, it makes me even more cringe, is like, well, oh, let's dedicate a hug, and the group hug to Andy, and I'm like, whatever. I'm looking forward to the dance, which we have every day. Like everybody else just dances, and they had an ecstatic dance tomorrow, but I don't see the difference between ecstatic dance and just dance. I just fucking dance. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why everybody looks at me strange. What? Andy, why are you running about like a mental case? This is dancing. But yeah, I had, like the conversation at breakfast was nice. Like people do say nice things about me a lot, and that's nice. We've got the Sacred Spot Part 2 ritual coming up after this. Somebody just asked me there, like, how do you feel about it? Because it's instead of receiving, the Sacred Spot kind of ritual, you're giving. So it's kind of the opposite as it was yesterday. I don't mind about my partner. I give love to, yeah, everybody. It's not like I don't need to be super sexually attracted to anybody. There's nobody here that I'm like, I've got a burning desire to be with or to get to know, frankly. Not in a bad way. Like, everybody's really cool and nice and beautiful. At the same time, yeah, whatever happens, somebody sits down and is like, not the fucking Scottish guy. The fuck? Have you seen us dancing? People need to stick to their boundaries. Like, a lot of people come with their stories here. And I didn't think I had a story until this morning. I really didn't. I thought, I'm storyless, me. I'm pure storyless. But I'm not. I'll create my own story. Oh, I don't feel welcome. Everybody doesn't like me. And then it's funny because this morning after the dance, so we do a dance every morning, obviously. We got a kind of lecture. They prefer the word transmission, which I also prefer. Transmission from Penny about the different roles we play: the victim, the rescuer, and the persecutor. So kind of like how people react to the outside world instead of taking personal responsibility for what's going on. You did this to me and it made me blah blah blah. You did this and you did that. Same with the rescuer, kind of like that guy yesterday was, oh, people need to be able to speak up. That's like total rescuer role. And then you've got the persecutor, which is just like, you're doing that wrong and you're doing. I'm probably more the persecutor, but in reality, like, I don't feel like I am. I don't feel like I'm blaming. I feel like I see exactly what's happening. I have only compassion. It's not a sexual ritual. It's something that's very, very. It's about staying in your truth, staying with your boundaries, exploring those boundaries, but staying in them and understand and communicating them and being present with them. It's a very worthwhile exercise. Both exercises. Although I didn't like love yesterday, like I think it was just because I didn't really feel the energy moving. I had a lot of energy stuck in my head. And I could have moved it, right? Like one of the agreements is I'll use the tools, but I didn't feel necessary to use the tools. I didn't feel it, like I didn't have a burning desire to go like, right? I didn't do it. I'm gonna go and like hopefully have a dance, like maybe either a dance around or listen to a podcast or listen to an audiobook. That was something else. I'm gonna wait till I sit down before I talk. Hello, Mr. Tree. Mind if I sit by you? I hope. That's right. I've been lucky since I started this path. I've had a lot of beautiful, really beautiful, truly beautiful experiences with people. But I think that might have been that was something else. I need a second. The facilitators are fucking amazing, by the way. Like all four of them are fucking something else. Something. All of them. I haven't really spoken about that, but I'm just going to take the time to honour that because the way that they run this and what's going on. Oh, you can, like, as an observer, I can see exactly what's going on. Oh my god, they're just fucking amazing. All of them, all four of them. Flipping, I was like, yeah, like, wouldn't it be nice if I got time off or whatever? So it was just like, no way. But it was just a very beautiful connection that the person and I have, like not a romantic or specifically sexual connection, but a connection of safety, of trust, of presence that we established on day 1 or 2. I don't know her very well. We haven't hung out or spent much time other than doing our BDSM conversation as part of an exercise. But in that exercise we got to know each other and we created a little dynamic when we'd be doing eye gazing or when we'd be doing walking or when we'd be doing the tempo, like where we could just make each other just a little bit provoke each other, like in a playful way. And we've been very playful in dancing and playful overall. We actually turned around and we had the exact same flower, and it was nice because we were able to be playful again, and I think like I was just very happy to serve, very very happy to be in that position to start off like that, and it was also really nice to see the relief in her face. She was happy that it was me, and I was happy it was her, like just because of the dynamic and because of that playful dynamic. So the trust was already there, and I'm thankful so thankful that that was already built. One thing I think, if you come to ISTA, is like do as many RBDSM conversations as possible. Like just go up and talk to somebody, and you can ask them, and you don't need to be clinical about it, but that also builds trust. Like I got to know her. I honestly don't know if I want to say too much about the ritual. It's not important. You need to experience it. If you are keen on experiencing it, then do the work, because it's sacred. Now, I know I was joking about finger up the bum yesterday, but I guess yesterday it felt more clinical, and for that reason it's not something I want to share too much about, other than it was one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever been. Yeah, I've been lucky to receive and be a part of. We're all divine beings, all of us. We're all created by intelligent, loving, divine energy, right? And you can believe that or not. If you don't believe that, you probably want to turn off. Fucking change your channel. The fucking clouds look like cartoon clouds. Okay, we're back. Fuck. If I needed a reason, this moment, that moment, this moment is the reason I'm doing this. Because if I can just like reach a few people to be like, there's something else out there, there's something else magical, wonderful. And the annoying thing for me is, because that was a very sacred experience for me and I don't want to share it, like I'm only giving you fuel for your imagination, and you can probably throw all of it out, all of it, chuck it all out, everything you think, like what I just was able to experience. Like nothing will give you a concept of that. Nothing. It wasn't some, yeah, I'm not going to tell you what it wasn't, and I'm not going to tell you what it was, but it was beautiful. And I hope if I do release this, it helps you to really figure out that there's something else out here. There's something else out there. And you can do that with ayahuasca, you can do that with mushrooms, or DMT. And some other things as well, of course. But it's not your grandmother's tantra course. It's not your Osho tantra course. It's certainly something beyond that. Yeah, I had a nice time there. Afterwards, after I turned the thing off, yeah, I bumped into the person massage, a nice hug, and then I went to eat lunch, and then I had a really nice tender moment with the person that we did the ceremony with, the ritual with. I'm feeling the interesting journey that I'm creating as well, like just on this, with this camera. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the like, start, end and middle and all the bits in between, and it's also interesting stuff, I hope. Like for me it's very interesting, and for you I feel like it's kind of fodder for your imagination in some ways. I decided to like stay, like so I was going to leave early tomorrow, like and miss integration, miss the final ceremony, miss the final sharing circle, which don't want to do that. Got plans for that sharing circle. I just want to share because I was shut down the last time. But yeah, I decided to extend my trip and then leave later on when everybody else leaves. Lunch, we've talked about that, and then afterwards we wrote a letter to our future self, which was nice. We also did a nice meditation of like from the moment we signed up to ISTA to this present moment. I'm excited about I'm excited about Temple overall. One of the girls who I was a bit like, who I'd connected with, and then was one of the people I was moaning about that was kind of avoiding me and that. She said like, oh, she really appreciated me being vulnerable in the pod sharing today, and I'm like, man, it's such a shame that that's the way I have to like get attention and get somebody to care about me. Like, I came away from that pod meeting and made fun of myself, right? Like, I came away and was like, I was playing the victim a little bit, like, 'cause I saw that in myself. It's like, oh my god, like, you need to play into these roles to like just get some fucking attention or get like, or make people like you, and it's like, I don't give a like, I need to be myself. I can't be like doing that shit. I'm not gonna bring my tempo kit. I might bring a sarong, but I'm not bringing a sheet and fucking massage oil. I'm gonna go do my soul shine thing, hang about for a bit, see what the vibe is, and I'm gonna try and get in bed early. And I also would like to go see some shooting stars tonight. That would be nice. That's my intention. We'll see what happens. I'm not looking really to connect sexually or sensually with anybody in particular or anybody at all. So yeah, ending in front of the church. And the funny thing is, what we're doing here, really, if you break it down, celebrating life. Really celebrating life. So my intention for Tempo is just really to like to come for the games or the start and then have a cuddle puddle and go home. And what ended up happening was so much better. It was I had a really nice connection and like play date with this girl. It wasn't in any way sexual at all. It was just a connection of two people going out, playing with the shadows on the walls, with the big lighting. It was so fun. Just playing like kids. The way that Temple was set up tonight was they had different corners, so there was different areas. So there was the cuddling and massage area. There was a kinky area. There was the expression on artistic area, and then there was the lost and found, which is where you go when you kind of just don't know where to go, and you might want some company or like somebody to come and give you some guidance. And then there was ISTA TV, where you can just sit on the throne and watch everything going on, which is amazing. So fucking cool, man. So interesting. Like, okay, do I want to be going to these regularly? Nah, it's not my vibe. But the experience of ISTA, yeah, I recommend it. Life's not so serious. Life's it's just as fun as you want it to be. I'm saying this very seriously, but I'm not a very serious person. You've seen me in all states of who I am, because I'm changing. I'm constantly changing. I'm not the same person I was 4 hours ago, 20 minutes ago. I'm surrounded by beautiful, amazing people doing amazing things, transforming themselves, transforming the world, and putting love out into the world. It doesn't matter what kind of love that is. It could be love for hamsters. If you just love hamsters, great. Just put all your love into that and see what happens. I don't know why I chose hamsters, because that's what I'm ending on, hamsters. If you love hamsters, go pure love hamsters. No bother, pal. I love you. Good morning. Just had our final pod meeting. That was good. I didn't share anything personal, I just shared like nice things about everybody and how they'd impacted me. But for now, what I'm going to do is do the opposite of what we started with, and I'm going to put the camera on, and just unpack and dance around while I unpack. So that's the vibe today. Usually I would quite like a nice smooth transition into setting that up, but I need to change the battery. That's that done. Packed, all packed. I guess like after the sharing, maybe I'll share this. Like, after the sharing, I was thinking about like what somebody said, and I felt like they were making a pointed judgment at me. It was an interesting moment of like, oh, maybe they're talking about me, but maybe they aren't. Who cares? I don't know what I'm going to do. My flight didn't get booked, so I need to book that today. So I need to have a look at how much these things are. The prices have gone up or down. Well, that was the last dance, the last sharing circle that we had. We only danced for like one song or two or three songs, I think, and then that was it. I would have liked more dancing, but the sharing circle was good. It was very, so it wasn't dancing, it was like we did, can I reveal myself to you? So everybody walked around and maybe said things that they might have wanted to say but didn't. A lot of people shared that I triggered, two people shared that I triggered them because I've got a big energy, and that made them feel like, why am I taking up so much space? I do take up a lot of space, I know I do. I've got fucking huge energy because every day I do energy work. Every day I learn about energy, every day I meditate on energy, I meditate with energy. And I don't feel bad. I'm glad that they shared it, but I can't do anything about people's triggers. They're not mine. I can't own them. They're not my triggers. I don't trigger myself in that way. I love being myself. Some very beautiful ladies I kind of either avoided or didn't talk to, or yeah, some people shared that they found me very attractive, which is very nice to hear. I shared a few things with people, like some of the things that made me feel, and one person who ignored me, and I got to hear their side of the story, which was very interesting. Like, yeah, a lot of it was like the stories people create in their minds. But I felt very loved. I felt very, very loved in that like, can I reveal myself to you exercise. I think I had 9 interactions actually. And one person said that what I've got to share is really important to people here. It's kind of what I needed to hear doing this thing. Yeah. It's really what I needed to hear. Thank you. Thank you. Because there's a big part of me that's like, I'll just chuck this thing in the bin when I'm done. And that's not an insignificant part of me, honestly. And grab it all, move to the recycle bin. So it was very, that really was beautiful to hear. And I needed to hear it today, so thank you, universe. And then we did the final sharing circle. And I shared essence, I kept saying bring it to essence, so I shared that. I shared that, yeah, it's not my responsibility if I trigger you. Yeah, just what I shared with you, because it's not. That was the biggest thing I learned. Can't go around try to stop other people being triggered. People are just going to be triggered because that's life. People trigger you, fucking get over it. It's not your responsibility. Like, sure, if they communicate their trigger to you, then you can find some middle ground. But sometimes that middle ground, or sometimes that solution is just fucking move away from the guy. Get away from him. Or whatever. Like, then that's an okay solution. It's not the best solution. Anyway, I shared that, and I shared that, yeah, like before I was interrupted again, and then lectured, was that, yeah, I love you, Andy. I'm proud of you, Andy. and I love all of you. And I love all of you. So we're just about to do the closing ceremony. I've only got a few, literally seconds to do this, but yeah, we just had like a talk about ISTA and stuff like that, and really interesting. Like, everybody's got a different perspective on how much should be shared, how much I should, like how much like one should share, not just like nothing to do with this, but it's very interesting. Yeah, some of the stuff that we're saying kind of makes you realise like how much pressure from the people who want to control us put on anything that's outside of the government sanctioned experience that a human can have on this planet. And that upset me a little bit. There's things that people want to do that's just like amazing, right? Like, if you want to do like some kind of boundary work as a family, how do you do that? How do you teach your child to? How do you do that? We need to create systems that do that. But the thing is, people don't, like the systems don't want that. They don't want that at all, because then the systems fall apart, because if everybody was able to express themselves, took personal responsibility, understand their boundaries, say no, say they don't want to do something, say yeah, like, or just like understand that sex is an innocent, beautiful experience that we get to have as humans. Like, yeah, how do you teach that to, I don't know, like when do you start teaching that? Like, it's a really tough, there's some tough questions there, because it's about how society pictures sex and how sex really is. Like, from my perspective at least, I can only speak for myself. There's somebody that's been totally avoiding me, and I notice it. I'm gonna try and call her out on that and see if I can deal with that. If I can't, fine, whatever, not my problem. But it'd be nice to see what's going on in her mind. Like I said, it's not my responsibility, but it'd be nice, like, closure. I won't think twice about it if I can't get that conversation, because it's, again, not my problem. So we're going for a final walk. I wasn't actually going to do a walk, but I realised this is the last time we're going to see all this stuff, so let's just take it in for a second. It's fucking beautiful. Just had the final ceremony, like the closing ceremony. That was nice. Did a picture. People keep asking me, "Oh, are you on Instagram or Facebook?" I'm like, no, because fuck those things, because they appear like they're giving you a service, but really they're just for programming you. And I choose not to be programmed, thanks, as much as possible. I'm highly programmed, as we've established. But yeah, I choose to remove that from my life wherever possible. But there's a part of me that's like, maybe I should join. Sometimes in these videos I forget to talk about my feelings, so let's just sit on a bench and do that. I never got to talk to that lassie about why she's been ignoring me, and then she ignored me again. I was like, "Oh, can I talk to you?" And she was like, "Not now." So whatever. Whatever, not my problem. But I did get to talk to the person that had a beautiful experience. All three of the ladies that I was able to, yeah, give loving presents to, and that was really beautiful to have those experiences with those ladies, and really impactful ones. Like, one was just a very sensual one, and we had a very nice connection, and just having that RBDSM chat was nourishing, because it's like, look, I'm here, like, I think you're beautiful and really cool, but I'm also here at ISTA, and I don't want to get too attached to just like a moment. So let's have this moment and be, and like we were both on the exact same page, and she shared that it was an incredible experience for her, and I'm really glad I could gift somebody that, because she gave it to me as well. And then, yeah, the person I did Sacred Spot with, again, we just shared such a beautiful but very different experience. Very different experience. Human to human. Male to female. And then just now I had lunch with the girl I was hanging out with last night. And yeah, like we didn't have a sensual experience. We didn't have that. Like, I mean, it was nice. We were like massaging each other and stuff, but it wasn't sensual. It wasn't sexual. It was it was intellectual. It was heart opening. It was fun. And that's what that experience was, and that was really beautiful for both of us. Because I'm not going to be the type of person to go to temple like very often in my life. I don't think. It doesn't appeal to me as much as I think it's important for humanity that this stuff exists. Like, it's also important that people who don't want to go, like, don't need to fucking go, right? Like, it's a personal choice. And I'm one of those people who just, like, yeah, it's not for me. Like, ISTA, the work ISTA's doing, and the work all, like, tantra schools and mystery schools are doing, is incalculably important to this world. But people don't need to do it if they don't want to. Shouldn't be forced. Nothing should be forced. I am feeling grateful for this experience. It was everything and I wanted or needed, and a billion times more than what I could ever have imagined it to be. I'm feeling so grateful to have met these bunch of people. Every single one of them I just love with all my heart, truly. And these are intelligent people. These are not like some weirdos. I mean, we're all weirdos, but like they're not like. This is the funny thing about society. Like this is the cream of the crop. These people are like highly intelligent, highly capable, highly able beings, and we're all here doing this work. And you get the same when you go to plant medicine ceremonies and you go to breath work and yeah, all of this stuff. You get the exact same. It's so nourishing for everything. Like I said it earlier, I feel full, like in the best possible way. And I felt like I learned a lot about myself, about the personality I've created. And that doesn't just go. I do have a personality, and there's part of that like, okay, that I've been struggling with for the past few years, of like how much of that do I let go. And that's kind of where you get into ISTA Level 2, but I don't know whether I need ISTA Level 2. Because there are other ways to get there, and I see the path in other ways. So, we'll see. Thank you for watching, if you've made it this far. It's probably coming to an end. I'll maybe do one or two more segments and maybe do some post work, but by and large this is the last segment. At ISTA here in Budapest, at this lovely beautiful space, and I hope this video just opens somebody's eyes. Like if I open like one person's eyes and it's like, okay, maybe I'll go, maybe that's interesting to me, then I think I've done my job as whatever I am, as a being. Now I'm very aware that this stuff is very controversial. I'm not a retard. Hey, he hits in with a 1-2, controversial, and then uses the R word. Fucking fuck off. Yes, I do. The reason why we're not allowed to use retarded is because we've associated it with like children, or like we've all associated it with people with learning disabilities and stuff like that. Well, it's not. That is not what the word retarded means. Go look it up in the fucking dictionary. It means an inability to grow and learn. new things and assimilate new perspectives and information. I'm not a fucking Oxford Dictionary, but that's my interpretation of the word retarded. It's not about, but we're not allowed to use it because you can't say that, because then people start, oh fuck, maybe I is retarded. The people are retarded. Thanks, Osho. So I know it's controversial. I'm very aware of it. I'm not interested in dealing with that at the moment. It's for future Andy to deal with. But I know, and he'll know. And I'm not bothered. I can deal with it. I could have an intellectual debate with pretty much anybody, I think. It's not ego, it's just, I'm not saying I win it. I would just like to have it. I love you. For the final time at ISTA. Goodbye.
I'm at the hotel, well, the Airbnb. So a few of us, 3 of us got an Airbnb afterwards. I was gonna, I changed my flight, obviously. And we're just leaving the Airbnb now. So yeah, 3 of us got an Airbnb for the last couple of days. I'm glad I didn't have to go to London and like rush off and stuff like that. It's just been much better to stay in Hungary, especially with the people I've been with. Had a really nice connection with one of them. And it's quite just a funny drama had unfolded in her head. Well, in like a funny misunderstanding happened between us very early on at the retreat, and we never really connected at the retreat apart from like a couple of conversations. But we had a beautiful time. I had the ability to practice some of the stuff I learned, because in case it wasn't clear, and I kind of was trying to leave everything to, I will continue to try and leave everything to your imagination. But yeah, there wasn't, like, on my side, like from my experience, I wasn't having sex with anybody at ISTA really. I was just offering massages and being given massages and that kind of stuff. So it was nice to have a really deep connection with somebody afterwards, and really be okay with like the lifestyle I lead, and the fact that it's not going to go anywhere, and the fact that it's just a beautiful connection for a few days. That was really nice. I'm really grateful for that, because it was very unexpected and it wasn't what I came here for at all. And I'm feeling very good. I'm feeling very tired, but I'm feeling like I got to have an experience that everybody should be able to experience if they want to, and that's not the case really. If we're honest, this kind of stuff is left to a very small amount of fortunate people that are able to go deep into themselves. If you made it this far, I'm incredibly grateful for you coming on this journey with me. If in any way made you consider ISTA as an option, that would be my dream come true. It's not just worthwhile, it was a 10 out of 10 experience. Maybe I'll give you some pointers before considering ISTA, and this is just from my own experience. ISTA is an intense experience. It will bring stuff up. It will bring emotions up. It is a lot of shadow work, working with the things that you don't know you do, things that you don't, bringing awareness to the things that you don't, the patterns that you have, the way you talk to yourself, bringing awareness to all of this stuff. That's really what it's about. I mean, I've probably said a different thing about what it's about. But really, like, it's just being aware and being loving and present with the people that you're with, and not being ashamed of your body, of sex, celebrating life. All things that are so possible in this world, and if we did more of it, the world would be, I think, a better place than it currently is. And I think we're moving towards that. But it is intense. And I need to be honest, could I have done this 3 years ago? The answer is 100% no. Because I had too much to work through. I'd be doing ISTA Level 1s for the next 3 years in order to get to the point where I could have had the experience I had and was able to have the experience I had. I'm reflecting back upon my last group share, which was a very healing experience for me. They added in a chime to make sure everybody stayed to the allotted time. I think that was in part due to some people, as well as me, waffling a little bit. I got up and what I loved is that there was a warm, nervous energy of giggles and of intrigue when I got up to talk, when I got up to share, that rippled across everybody, and I think that was really nice because of what happened the last share, and because I'd shared at every sharing circle. And I leaned into it and I just shared from my heart, like I said. And I think that the healing part of that is just knowing that there are going to be people in this world that are not going to vibe with you. They're not going to be on your wavelength. They're not going to understand you. There's going to be a lot of people who find this stuff incredibly triggering, incredibly weird, blasphemous, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't give a fuck. Me, personally, I don't give a fuck. It's not my problem. If they've been programmed in that way and they want to dive into those emotions, they're welcome to. But there's also going to be a number of people who see this and receive it in a warm way, in a positive way, and it's really about finding those people. Life is about finding and bringing those people into your life, and I feel incredibly lucky to have met 30, 40, 50 people of whom I felt a kinship, a deep kinship beyond looks, beyond personality, beyond anything, just truly feeling a part of something bigger. Like, I'm not going to go back to doing more ISTAs unless my life takes me there, but I'm in no cult. I have no ties to them at all. I have no real actual interest in their opinion of this, even though I got a go ahead from everybody I talked to about what I was doing. I don't really care. Like, it's not my business what ISTA think of this video, because it's just shared as me as a participant, not as a member of any weird thing that makes me do things that I don't want to do. The whole thing is about being present and knowing that you have full control over what you say yes to, what you say no to. Not a single thing in ISTA was mandatory in any way. If you didn't want to do something, you did not have to. But that doesn't mean that the things weren't intense. The exercises were intense, and the exercises were very, very edgy in terms of what we were doing. And I know that those edges and communicating those edges is going to be controversial. And that's not my problem. I'm just here living a life on this planet. No matter what's happening in this world, we can change it. We really can change it. Finally, I'm just going to give you some resources and things to think about before considering ISTA. Things that help me on my journey and things that help me be prepared to do something like ISTA. I would recommend looking into heart-based tantra. I don't know whether that's red tantra or white tantra. I don't give a fuck. I don't know, neo tantra, whatever. Just something that is heart based. Something that like helps you connect to your heart and your being, and see other beings as divine, as just as beautiful creations of fucking intelligent thought and energy. Something that just helps you release the shame of your sexuality, of sex, of talking about sex, of being a sexual being, because we are all sexual beings. You could pick somebody off the street and take them to ISTA and they would have a hard time, but they would get something massive from it. And yeah, like they might have to do a few more level ones. Do some mindful meditation, explore other types of meditation. These are very important. Meditation particularly that can dewire your patterns. If I had to recommend, you know where I'm going to go with this because I don't stop shining on about them, but to me, Osho's meditations have been incredibly valuable, and so have Joe Dispenza's. So either of those two, I would recommend, I would go for. I would get over the media hostility towards Osho as well. Forget about it. It's all to stop you looking into it because people knew back then and they knew now, people who want to control you, that start listening to Osho, you're going to start asking more questions about what this all is. I think breathwork as well. Yeah, you could go for something like Wim Hof, but his is more on the health benefits and really focuses on a method of breathwork that's closer to hyperventilation than most breathwork should be. Or most breathwork is. I don't want to say should because what do I know? But most breathwork I have done that has been valuable to me has been things like holotropic breathwork, rebirthing breathwork. These two in particular could take you down a path that is incredibly nourishing. Other things I would recommend beyond those three things, which I believe are the most important, are changing patterns, like being aware of your patterns in your life. What do you do every day that you don't think about? Like, do you go to the same place for coffee every day? Like, you're completely in your you're unconscious when you're doing that, by and large, right? Do you go up and turn the same way out of your house every day? Do you go drive the same way to work every day? Do you hang out with the same people every day? Do you go to the same clubs? Do you go to the same sports thing? Or like, change it up. Deregulate your life. And I think if you can start with any of those four, ISTA is a good option. And even if you don't, ISTA is still an amazing option. Thank you to all of the facilitators and the assistants. I'll name the facilitators because they're on the website, but yeah. Thank you, Penny. Thank you so much. Your teachings were incredible. You're so wise and so funny. Thank you to Robbie for showing me that men's work is not necessarily how I've experienced it. Yeah, thank you for showing me that the healthy masculine is being a supporting role in this world, supporting other men and supporting women. Thank you, Yasmin, for being your full self, for bringing all your wisdom in. I learned so much from you. Thank you, Rafa. Thank you for being your full self, being so passionate about the work you do. And you led an incredible, life-changing experience for me and for so others. So thank you. And thank you again for watching. I love you. Goodbye.
Hey, 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 hey.